Hello, chat room. Welcome to the live stream. My sinuses are not feeling fantastic today, so I got sick last weekend. So I'm coming down from that. I took it was bad enough that I took the previous Friday off and then the Monday off because I got a little bit of a cold again. Yeah, the thumbnail of Pearl saying, "But we won." That was one of my favorite moments in that episode. It's very funny. Good evening. I have some tea here. I may be making another thing of tea when we switch episodes and I get a little chance to hit a BRB screen and let the water boil and all that. You're gonna leave this on as I write. Why are you writing with someone talking in the background? Isn't that like difficult? Top tier voice acting. I think the main Crystal Gems with Garnet, early season 1 Garnet as an exception, they all have fantastic voice actresses. Also, I got some, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. I got some Outer Wilds music playing in the background. I'll probably switch that because it's only an hour-long soundtrack. I can't, when I'm writing videos or whatever, I cannot have anything playing in the background other than, like, instrumental music. Otherwise, the words that I'm listening to get muddled with the words I'm trying to put down into the page, you know? You have school tomorrow and it's 3 a.m. Why do you have school on a Sunday? What kind of school do you go to? I do not know how people listen to... I can hardly, like, form full sentences when I have total silence. Like, I don't know how people can listen to stuff. Church? Sunday school? But Sunday school isn't, like, school, right? I don't know. And isn't Sunday school for, like, little kids? If you're, like, a little kid, you're not supposed to be watching my channel in the first place, and I'll fucking ban ya! Unless you're doing, like, a Bible study. I don't know. I don't know nothing about going to church. It's not my wheelhouse. You're 6? Maybe 6 out of 10, but... Okay, we're gonna switch over to Blender. It's, we got 3 episodes to cover because I missed 1 week, so I was like, oh, I'll just make it up on last week, and then I got fucking sick. So we're doing 3, perhaps 2, and then the 3rd tomorrow, perhaps 1 and then 2 tomorrow, because I don't know how well my voice will, like, keep up for a whole, like, 3-hour stream. We'll start with maximum capacity because that's the oldest one so far. There's my tea timer. I don't know if you can hear my watch. I kind of assumed you started spacing them out intentionally. No, I broke the habit accidentally because I had to go for... I was out of state like 2 weeks in a row. Not like full weeks, but I had to go out of state 2 different times. And I had to miss streams 2 weeks in a row a while back, and then I never picked up the rhythm again. It helped a lot over the summer when I was trying to stream like all the time on Twitch. which I can't really keep up right now because I'm working full-time at a school. It's Outer Wilds. Yeah, I have the Outer Wilds soundtrack in the background. I said that. Do I like spicy noodles? What a weird question to start with. Occasionally. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure to be back for a stream next week. There's nothing stopping me next week, as far as I know. I didn't think there was gonna be something stopping me last week, but what do you call it? It's I got sick, of course. You may still be able to hear it in my voice. I got a bunch of cough drops in front of me, so if I need a cough drop, I'm gonna pop one of those. This episode is uncomfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. I said that in the video. That's like totally intentional. How did you come up with the idea to do gemology videos? Well, there's this little channel, you may have heard of it, on YouTube called Overanalyzing Avatar, and I'm like, man, that'd be a fun series to do for like a show that I really know. And I'm like, what's a show that I really know like a lot about? And it's this show. So I was like, I'm gonna do Overanalyzing Avatar, but it's Steven Universe. And apparently nobody had done that before, or rather the people who tried before me gave up or failed or whatever. So I just did it because it was there. It was a void to be filled. And I thought it would be fun. Also, I did the thumbnail test for, you know, how YouTube, well, you might not know. YouTube lets you pick 3 different thumbnails, and it'll run all 3 of them and show them to different people. And the thumbnail that gets the most retention when people click it gets chosen and set permanently for that video. So this was one of the frames that I picked that I used for a thumbnail, and this is the one that ended up getting picked, which I think is a little bit hilarious. I don't know. Hold on, I get a cough. I'm gonna be muting my mic. If it sounds like crusty when I mute it, just be aware of that. Hold on. There we go. I gotta buy new microphones. I talked about it in last stream. I am devising this plan to start like a little Game Grumps Oni Plays Let's Play channel. And I'm gonna need a second microphone for that. The problem is I don't know what model microphone I'm using right now. It's a microphone that like came with a kit with like an interface and cables and stuff. So I don't know what actual model this microphone is. So I'm gonna buy 2 microphones that are identical, so then when me and my friend end up recording our little fucking Let's Plays, we're gonna sound the same, or rather, our voices will be picked up the same. Why is Pearl so sassy in this picture, or in this frame? She is sassy. She does have a lot of sass. She is about the sassiest character in the entire show. Maybe. Wait, why is it doing this song again? Hold on. Okay, there we go. I feel like it was stuck on. Is it looping? No, I don't want it to loop. I think the only character that might be sassier. It's probably like Holly Blue Agate or no, I don't know. I don't think she's sassy. I think she's just like a Matilda type bitch. Now, like I don't know anything about Matilda, so I might be thinking of. I know that in Matilda there's like this orphanage running lady who is a bitch. No, Pearl is the sass master. Lapis is the smug master. If I could get like a Fumo of Lapis, that would be great because it would be smug. A lot of people in the comments didn't quite get the drug allegory that Amethyst or that I try to do, that Little Butler is like the drug and they're relapsing. I see it as a drug allegory because, or like alcoholism or whatever. And Greg, like if Little Butler was a drug or like weed or something, and Amethyst and Greg would just sit around smoking weed, I think like this story would play out pretty much the same way, minus the Little Butler theme, which would be lost. Coping mechanisms, yes. Because you could have, like, if they're smoking weed in the fucking shed, in the storage unit, this story could play the same way. Like, they find, like, their pipes or whatever, and they start smoking again, and then Greg is like, man, I can't be doing this again. I did this the first time, and it was a disaster. Okay, sass is Pearl, smug is Lapis, snark is snark might be Peridot. Yeah, I need a like political compass, like a quadrant chart is what you said, Vondel. Also, they changed the thing in YouTube chat that now it shows the handles instead of people's names, which is kind of neat. It's consistent with comments now, which I think is good. I like the handles. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I like that YouTube has handles. I get to look at this and complain about how bad the scale is in these shots. We'll get to like season 3 and 4 where the scale gets all sorts of out of whack, and like Lapis and Pearl are in a fucking arms race of who can be taller. I like Petey's fit. He's got that turtleneck vibe going. Just glad your handle was more or less the same as my chosen username. Yeah, mine is as well. I'm tempted to get rid of the username itself. I'm tempted to get rid of the underscore just so it matches the handle. I don't know, if you have the underscore, it's easier to search. I don't know. Because source master, those are like two very like commonly used words. Especially in like programming. Like you get the master branch in like a Git repo or in the source code. Like even just in like part of a Git repo, it's like you have both source and master being used in that context, rather. You people have too much money. Part of what I was talking about buying microphones is that I need to make more business. I need to buy more things as business expenses because it's getting to the end of the year and I haven't spent enough money as a business, so I'm going to be paying out the ass in taxes. Big Steven isn't real, he can't hurt. Well, Big Steven is real in Future, but Future is also like a spin-off series. I don't know. PD is using stools? I would have to think so, because PD in almost every episode is like the same height as Steven. Like he's probably standing on a little plastic stool here. Yeah. Excuse me. My throat. I don't know how long. Again, I don't know how long I'll be able to keep up. I'll tell you this: if I can't get to all 3 episodes this stream, I'll do another one tomorrow. I got nothing going on tomorrow. I'm still snowed in. I'm in the middle of a like day and a half long like winter storm warning. It started snowing about 6 o'clock last night, like yesterday, and it has not let up until maybe just a little bit recently. It's like a foot of snow. There's not a lot of... I might not spend a lot of time on this episode because there's just not a lot to look at, if that makes sense. Wait, eye patch suit background character. That is not Little Butler. I doubt it. I don't think, first of all, I don't think like child Little Butler would have been bald as a child. That's just weird. Not bald, but like, I don't... First of all, he's a different color. Like, I don't think... I don't know. He's not even bald. He just has a mustache. Oh, man with mustache is child with mustache in the future. Suitcase Sam? Yeah, I've heard a lot of comments call him Suitcase Sam, who has no lines in the whole show. Wait, does he speak once? Like, ever? Doesn't he, like, say... I don't know. If consider Little Butler was made in, like, the 90s, right? I would say it was airing about the same time as, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, that's this world's Fresh Prince. So it's, like, 90s, right? If we're talking... If Steven Universe supposedly airs around the time that, like... Or Steven Universe takes place around the time that it airs, which would be, like, mid-2010s. Little Butler, the actor for Little Butler, would be in, like, his 30s. Probably. I don't like Jenny, not Kiki. She looks very NPC-ish. Like the NPC Wojak, if that rings a bell to anyone. Look at Nanafois. I don't see anything wrong with Nanafois. She looks like pretty much normal. She has the dot eyes, like but Jenny's got like this Tintin look going on. I do like that this... I didn't notice it until I made the video. This is Pearl. Pearl and Garnet, what they're wearing is what Steven grabbed at the beginning of the episode. Right here. Wait, right here. Yeah. Fryman's hat does not look like... Actually, it kind of does look like breadsticks. Like the Olive Garden, like round kind of breadsticks. It's a lot of details. That's why this series exists, is because there's all these details in the show that I don't think ever have been talked about. No, this is the music that comes before the sun explodes. I hope when the actual sun explodes, someone gets on a loudspeaker and plays this music. Assuming humanity is alive. Is there a way to predict that? Like, can we predict... Because, I don't know, like Betelgeuse. Like, that's probably the star that's, like, most ready to explode. To go supernova. Is there a way to... If our sun was at that point, is there a way to predict that? We definitely won't be alive. Yeah, but you don't know if humanity as a concept wouldn't be alive. 5 billion years? I don't know. There could be some sentient fucking, like, dolphins in the future that have this music. It's in some sort of archive. Who've played fucking Outer Wilds. I love stoner amethyst. It's going to get way bigger and engulf Earth before it supernovas, of course, but like, wouldn't any humans in the future, far future, be like, I want to return to the star system, like, assuming we've gotten this like interstellar travel down by that point, which I'm sure there's the technology is going to exist for that at that point. What has this stream turned into? You must be new. This is pretty standard. You can tell when it explodes, when it blows up. That's true. This is tame, yeah. We haven't even, like, switched off of the Blender window yet. There's no reason to. Oh, speaking of explosions, here's a science fact that I like. Did you know that during explosive chemical reactions, we have no fucking idea what actually happens? Because everything happens so quickly and so violently that you can't put that chemical reaction in a goddamn, like, spectrometer to find out what chemicals are being made. If you put a live explosive, like, actively exploding in a spectrometer, it's just gonna fucking destroy that spectrometer. Or whatever device you're using to measure it. So there could be, like, 30 different ingredients being made during, like, a high explosive reaction, and we wouldn't know because it... Like 30 different chemicals, I mean. Because it just happens too quickly. In Doctor Who, only a single pure human existed, stretched out like a sheet, a square. Isn't that like all tomorrows? I feel like this is the moment we switch off. There's like All Tomorrows is this it's a book, like a hypothetical future where an alien race finds humans and then like genetically modifies them into all sorts of different weird creatures. And there's like brick humans and fucking like these walking giraffe creatures and stuff. It's a book. I don't know where to get the book. I just want to show a picture of a... Let's just show the picture of the fucking... The brick human that are, like, actually sentient. Hold on. It's opening a fandom page. I hate Google Images, man. Google Images become so unusable. They're called colonials. Let's look at this. They're like flesh bricks. Human flesh brick. This was just the last human stretched too thin. Not forcibly evolved way of torture. We hate fandom in this stream. Yeah, if I had the manpower to do it, I would start a bespoke Steven Universe wiki that's separate from fandom. Because fandom sucks. Sucks bad. Very bad. Do you think gems similar to colonials exist? I think the wall gems or like the door gems on Homeworld are enough evidence to prove to me that these motherfuckers exist canonically in Steven Universe. I don't know. I don't know for sure. I can't know. But I believe it. I think it's entirely possible. It's a gem that's just called brick. It's just a brick. Or like Adobe or something. Altamars is worth a read if you want to feel kinds of dread you never knew about. I do want to read that at some point. It's very cool. Where I live, we don't have Thanksgiving. Do you have any sort of, like, harvest festival? I feel like every culture and every country has some form of harvest festival. Unless you're like North Korea, who just doesn't grow any food. Why is a hot dog's in Greg's mouth like that? Because he's a glizzy guzzler. I don't know. That's just it. Because I don't know. It's funny. That's a small hot dog. If he can like, if he can fit it in his mouth that way, that's a weird. It's a weirdly like small hot dog. Or Greg's just a big guy with a big mouth. I don't fucking know. He's Glizzy Greg. Do you think Greg has ever participated in a hot dog eating contest? Norway does not have a harvest festival? That's tragic. What's with rose quartz hitting the same expression in every picture? There was a theory back in season 1 before, what do you call it? Before Lion 3 straight to video happened, that Rose Quartz was blind, or like she kept her eyes closed all the time. I don't know, just every depiction of Rose Quartz in the show, like actual depiction, like a painting or photo or statue, her fucking eyes are closed. I don't understand it. It's very strange. Except, you know, the tapes. Anytime she's in motion, her eyes are open. Patterick. It's not Patrick, that's Patterick. I saw a theory that he took a picture in front of the rose painting. I don't think that's this. Can I see... It's not in this episode. Well, she's also facing the wrong way in this picture. I think she just blinked. She just like when that painting was being painted by presumably Vidalia. I actually guarantee if it's Vidalia who painted the rose quartz portrait. I think she just blinked the whole time. She just held a really long blink or like fell asleep. A hot dog selfie in front of my late wife's portrait. Yeah, that's not happening. She's facing the opposite way. She's facing to the right in the painting. Randy Anderson. Well, it can't be Suitcase Sam unless Suitcase Sam changed his name to Sam. Because Sam is not short for Randy. Randy is short for fucking Randolph. I don't know. What kind of name is Randolph? Is anyone in chat named Randolph? You got a fucking weird name if so. Brown blur painting from Smiling Friends. Yeah. There's a cryptid. You get big money if you take a picture of that cryptid. Randy is short for Randrew. That is also possible. Let's go to names.org and see if Randrew is a name. Hold on. Names.org. Randrew. At least in the United States. There are less than 100 people named Randrew. There is no record of this name. That'll be my son. When I have a son, just to be the first Randrew. No, a character from a game named Randolph. Yeah, but is Randolph like a real name? I know Rudolph is a real name. There's the guy who, the, like, Adidas and Puma, like, the two brothers were Adolf and Rudolph. And no Randolph. It would be funny if there was a Randolph in there, like a secret, like a fucking TF2 like gray man, like secret third twin brother, like a triplet brother that they don't know about it, named fucking Randolph, who made their own shoe company. Ominous ass music. She's not doing the hand thing. That's just a normal hand. Wild. Why is Pearl so timid with the fucking noise on New Year's Eve? We have lost the plot. Not really. The plot is right here. Look, it's Suitcase Sam, like, fucking doing something. Why'd she have, like... Okay. Jenny has, like, fish lips in this picture. I don't... It's very strange. I like zooming into these background shots to look at, like, weird details like this. You can see how huge the arcade is, because, like, this door is open, but it goes all the way over here. And wraps around the side. How many people are buying suitcases? It's people who, like, flew to Beach City and then lost their fucking luggage. But like this, like these briefcases, you mean? Like who buys these briefcases? Yeah, I have no idea. Last time I saw a leather briefcase, like a hard briefcase like this, it's fucking, it was in a closet somewhere and it was not being used. Excuse me. Eye Patch Eric? That's his evil twin brother. Does anyone wear, in real current year, in this Cyberpunk 2077 current era of humanity, wear eye patches for vanity? Or like the same reason that pirates do, to like go below deck of the ship and like have an eye that's like ready for night vision? Office people? I don't like, you're not, you have like a laptop case, right? For keeping papers and stuff. You would have your computer and a bunch of documents in one bag. I don't think you would have a hard case like this for a laptop. I don't know. I don't work in fucking office, like an office environment, so I have no idea. I've only ever seen like soft bags for laptops though. I found an eye patch on the ground once. What? How do you lose an eye patch? I feel like that's like the first thing you would notice. It's like losing glasses. If my glasses get knocked off my head, I immediately know. But do you think Suitcase Sam wears eye patch for aesthetic reasons? Is this a vanity? Is this part of his like brand as a influencer, as a suitcase influencer? What if that's his job? What if he's like that lighter guy on YouTube Shorts? Do you know what I'm talking about? The lighter guy who just like has this cabinet of antique lighters and just shows them off. What if he's a fucking suitcase influencer and his like brand, his image is that he wears an eye patch? He lost his eye? That's too easy, though. That's not, like, creative enough. He's pretty light, but I've seen even lighter guys. How fucking dare you? I don't know. He is definitely, for sure, not Little Butler. Nobody's head turns from Stewie Griffin adjacent all the way to background character extraordinaire. I am going to take a cough drop. Sam is a soldier along with Greg that served in Iraq and lost his eye. I refuse to believe that Greg's ever served in any sort of military. Greg is too chunky. Greg does not have like discipline to have been a military person. I don't know. I know some veterans in real life that don't have very good discipline, but they have more discipline than Greg. Greg would have gone to a fucking hospital to get his leg fixed when it was broken if he had the fucking veterans benefits and stuff. Greg is too young for military. I agree. Greg, when he met Rose Quartz, was like early 20s, right? In what is it? We Need to Talk? Not We Need to Talk. I mix those up because they have very vague titles. Story for Steven. That's the one. You can absolutely be fat after serving. Yeah, I said that and I immediately thought to someone I knew who was like very, very overweight and a veteran, so... Andy would be in the Air Force. He could have been in the Navy, like a naval pilot. Air Force, yeah, it's probably with his fucking parents and their obsession with aircraft aviation. I can see that he would be in the Air Force. People just forget that other branches fly planes. I did for the longest time as well. If there's anything else people want to see in this episode, and I think we're going to switch to the next one pretty soon. He lost his eye from a gem monster. I like that explanation the best so far. What if there's a gem monster that was like a mimic? Like a suitcase mimic gem monster. And he got fucking attacked by it. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic and cough 1 sec. I'm back. Have you heard of them trying to get people in the military with anime girls? Yes, I've heard of all the wacky, weird tactics. They have some weird ways of getting people into the freaking military. When America's not at war and there's no draft, like they will go to tons of lengths to get people in. Can't all gems mimic? Yeah. I'm considering an episode like Jake the Brick, but it's Amethyst being a fucking like street sign or something. You get a free Crunchyroll subscription? That's what I need to write off on my taxes, is a Crunchyroll subscription. If I do an anime video once a month, I can write a Crunchyroll subscription off as a deduction. It's just a very small amount, but I can still do it. This is cursed, by the way. Like, I think this is the most cursed shape-shifting that Amethyst does. That's a hot take, but it's... This one is like fucked looking. I think it's just like the shoulder strap thing going on. I don't think they randomly introduced this and only bring it back in a show they were lucky to have. They were probably going to bring it back if they weren't canceled early, but I don't know. I think you can have a planned power for a character and then just not. Because they introduced other powers in similar ways. Like in the latest video, we will get to it. Or in the previous, a little bit ago. In... What do you call it? Horror Club. Where he kind of can sense that there's a gem in the lighthouse. Like, that's his fucking empathic whatever powers. That only get brought back, like, way later. And in the most recent one, in Rose's Scabbard, he does a little floaty power. At least I think it's his floaty power. She does have the tan line. You're fucking right. That's... Amethyst is good. She's got the shape-shifting down. No one else no one else shapeshifts the same way as Amethyst, except maybe Jake the dog. But he can't do colors. He can only be that one shade of yellow. I kind of like how it doesn't show her face for a little bit. It's just adding to the the tension, the suspense of like what's gonna happen. Like, you know, it's gonna show her face. It's very spooky when it does. This shot, it looks ominous. Wait, this quick shot of Steven looks ominous. Unnecessarily ominous. Or are you talking this one? The lighting's so good. I agree. Sometimes this show does these shots that have like crazy lighting. Like, here's the square fucking shine from the TV. This music is like way too epic for this scene. Hold on, we're switching musics. I feel like it's not shuffling like all the songs in this album. And then you can kind of tell when it switches from one, I don't know who specifically boarded this one, but you can tell like immediately it switches over to a different artist who just doesn't quite do the lighting as well as the previous shot. Love Pearl's lines when she just says, I don't know, one day they just stopped. It's kind of neat. It's almost like a... It's like very subtle. The episode... This episode isn't in your face until the very end. And even then, it doesn't, like, spoon feed you, like, what the situation is. It never tells you, like, yeah, back in the day when... Fucking, it's open to interpretation. What's with this epic music? Jesus. Anyway, the whole episode is open to interpretation of like what was going on between Greg and Amethyst. Like, it's open to that interpretation of like, yeah, they were hooking up or whatever, or like they were going to hook up, and then there's someone in the comments saying like, going to hook up as Amethyst being Rose Quartz, and then Greg saying like, no, this is fucked up, I can't do this. They're pissed that Steven point of view rule means they couldn't have Amethyst and Greg talk this out. I had kind of a realization about the Steven's point of view rule just today, actually, because I'm talking about another show, the anime review that I'm going to be doing this month, that also has a point of view rule. And I'm realizing, like, dramatic irony is just not an option when you have a point of view rule. Because dramatic irony, if you don't know, is like the audience knowing something that the characters don't. But if the audience, if Steven is supposed to be like a stand-in for the audience in terms of like learning things about gem culture and magic and all that, like Steven can never, or the audience can never know something that Steven doesn't. So dramatic irony just cannot exist in this show, by like as a rule. It can only not exist for Steven. It's a weird way to... Does this say Greg's stuff? I love labeling shit like that. Okay. Story time, short story, rather. I tried to do a game jam one time with a friend that I went to junior high and high school with. I still play Pathfinder with him. He's cool. But I tried to do a game jam with him, and he taught me all about, like, Git, how to use Git for, like, branches and stuff to collaborate on programming. And my commit messages were always, like, really good. Like, I would always say, like, oh, added this, changed XYZ. Or, like, adjusted values for this thing. And then his commit messages were always, like, stuff. Changes. Here is the message. Like, things like that. It was fucking hilarious. Like, yeah, thanks, man. I don't fucking know what you did here without, like, reading through the change logs. Just here is the message is probably my favorite commit message he's ever written. Excuse me once again. Imagine if he walked up and said hi to Yellow Diamond like he said hi to Peridot. Didn't he do that to White Diamond? Wasn't his first word to White Diamond hi? Cool. I kind of want this jacket. This is neat. Like, I don't know. I like this guitar rocket ship logo. It's cool. Garnet is the cool dad. I use that design for Shirt Club. I think you're right. It's similar. Hold on. I need to find that image. It's very, very similar. Let me get the image pulled up. Oh, this is bad. Why is this... Can I buy... Okay, apparently people sell the Guitar Dad poster or the shirt. This is very low quality picture or image, but yeah, I can see it's very similar font. Typeface rather. It's drawn out. It's not an actual typeface. It's like drawn. The theory that gems lock into any spoken language. I think the explanation for the gem language is the same as how it is in Star Trek, where they have like these universal translator devices, and no matter what language is being spoken, it like automatically fucking translates it for them, or like whatever gems speak are like perceived as someone's native language, something like that. Maybe Lars of the Stars will get into that when they end up going to like other planets or something. That was kind of the premise of my favorite Star Trek The Next Generation episode, Darmok, where Picard is trapped on this planet with an alien that his translator just doesn't quite work with. Like, the words are all translated properly, but it's like nonsense. It's just this guy saying, like, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, and when the walls fell. It's like, it's nonsense. Oh, that's such a good episode. That I fucking love Star Trek The Next Generation. That's my favorite episode. And of like, if I had to make a list of like top 10 episodes of television, like all TV, that would go on there. Why does Greg cry when he finds Little Butler? Nobody's this attached to a television show. Nobody cries while thinking or watching fucking TV. Okay. Chat room. I think it is time soon. I'm going to make another thing of tea. And then when I am back, we're going to do the next episode. And I don't think we're going to do the last one until tomorrow, because my sinuses, man, are they hurting. I don't think I have the stamina to do a third hour. I will do another stream tomorrow where we talk about Rose's Scabbard. We'll give that episode its own stream. Okay, BRB, I'm gonna make fucking tea. More tea. Chat room, I have returned with a jasmine green tea. Okay, I think it's about time I also pick a new soundtrack to listen to. Anyone have any suggestions? Could be one I have on Steam. I got Terraria. That could be good, actually. I'm thinking about that. Yes, jasmine tea. The reason I ever tried it in the first place was because of Avatar and Iroh. Amazing funk remix? No, thank you. I'm thinking of just doing FTL. I've done FTL before, but I really like this soundtrack. I'm doing FTL. Fuck it. Excuse me. Okay, check this out. We're gonna do the next episode. But since whoops, wrong window. This is my list of soundtracks. Anyway. This one. Okay. Since the episodes are all categorized like A and B kind of thing, all you gotta do is just, like, cause, you know, maximum capacity and then the next one are like part of one big thing. You just slide it. You just slide it. And now we're into fucking Marble Madness. I need to see the, oh, there's my timer for my tea. Black tea and green tea, if you guys don't know, have different steep times. If you steep, green tea as long as you steep black tea, it'll be way bitter. It'll be kind of, like, grossly bitter. You steep green tea for 2 minutes, and you steep black tea for, like, 5 minutes. This one. Steven Universe didn't, so I don't know why the files are listed like that. I believe these files were originally procured by downloading them straight from iTunes, back when you could, like, buy full episodes of shows and then download the actual files on iTunes. I've had these fucking Steven Universe episodes for way too long. I think these were the same ones I used when I made fucking Crystal Sins. Is this when Pearl talks about Rose's healing lacrimal essence? No, this is when, she says the stupid balls just keep coming and coming. She says it like that way. I'm not exaggerating. That's what she, Why does she look so longingly to the sky? Why'd she say it like that? That's what I'm saying. She's fucking weird. She gets all worked up over balls from space. Spaceballs. Do you think Pearl has seen Spaceballs? Probably. I think the animators knew exactly what they were doing. Maybe. The animators themselves might not have known because the animators themselves were Korean. However, the storyboard artists probably knew. Has Pearl seen Space Jam? I guarantee Pearl has seen Space Jam. I'm not sure 100%. I give it like 50% that Pearl has seen Spaceballs. I gotta watch Spaceballs. I've heard people who watch Spaceballs went to watch Star Wars after the fact and thought Star Wars was boring. I don't know. I've seen Star Wars already, so I'm curious to see Spaceballs. David Blank, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for making these videos. Excited every week to see you post. Going to make the journey and watch Crystal Sins. Oh God. I think we need to do maybe around New Year's, Christmas, or whatever. We gotta do another movie night. Again, thank you for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. We gotta do another movie night, and I think we're gonna watch some more. Probably watch some older Gemologies, and then watch some freaking other videos, some Crystal Sins even. New Year's is my birthday, so I would enjoy that. I'm gonna say not on New Year's because I'm probably gonna be going somewhere for that. However, around that time, I have about 16 days off of work for our Christmas break, like winter break. They call it winter break. It's fucking Christmas break because it's Christmas. Come on. What else is going around on that time other than Christmas? It's a federal holiday. What are these low poly, low res? They didn't do the fucking the 6 eyes. Not 6 from Ben 10, but like the 6 and then 6. This is fucked. Amethyst has a nose. They gave her a nose. Steven didn't get that luxury. My cat showed up. What do you want? You're not getting my tea. Pearl looks normal. Garnet looks normal. Amethyst looks okay. Her eye's a little bit too small. And Steven is just fucking like... Give us the quote mark eyes. Some people call that save the light eyes or attack the light or whatever. But they literally use that in the very first episode of the show, so it's not a... You can't really attribute it to... Okay, in this shot, and then in this shot, they do the 6 eyes. Kind of. Amethyst looks a little bit fucked. Peridot apparent neuron activation. That's why I put Peridot in the thumbnail. That's exactly the reason I put Peridot in the thumbnail and not the balls. Save and unleash the light also use the quote eyes, I believe. Yeah, I think all 3 games, hold on, unleash the light. I'm not going to show them on, screen, but... Yes, they all have the same eye style. At some point, I'd like to cover the games, because apparently the games are canon. So I have to play through them because I have not. Also, you can't buy them, so you have to find other means to obtain them. If I could buy them, I would. But you can't buy them, so you have to fucking pirate them. It's on archive.org if anyone is interested. You have to find it yourself. I'm not going to provide that. I will tell you where it is. I will not give you a map to where it is, though. your responsibility if you choose to pirate. Time for a Let's Play channel? I've been talking off and on during the stream about doing a Let's Play channel. I'm spending a lot of money finishing my basement. Actually, I haven't started quite yet buying materials to finish the basement, but I'm going to finish my basement and turn it into like a little Let's Play room with like recording stuff. We're going to, my friend and I are going to do our little Oni Plays Game Grumps type beat. I like this frame. I didn't pause on this frame before, but this frame is neat. It does kind of do this thing that I don't like, where they cut, like, they don't actually take any swings, they just are flying through here, and then it cuts away to something happening in the distance. I don't know. Kind of irks me that they, like, don't actually do the action on screen. How do they do it in the first one? It's a little bit the same. No, they actually do it on screen. GIF tweening. That is kind of what that is, isn't it? Animators just get lazy. I don't think they pay them enough. This is a Cartoon Network show, so they just don't have the fucking money. And it's not the animators, it's the fucking storyboard artists. I've been corrected on this enough times that I'm going to start having to correct other people too. It's not the animators who decide what actions the characters are going to do. It's the storyboard artists. I'm going to talk about unfamiliar familiar. Hold on. Let's talk about how huge Steven and Connie are at the beginning of this episode. They're huge on the beach. Excuse me. More kids watch Nickelodeon. Now that is a statement I don't know if it's true. I don't know how true that is. Also, this is a distance shot where they're just like fully drawn. Weird. I guess they drew them and then realized, hey, we need the establishing shot, so they just, like, shrunk them. Also, the warp pad is missing. Or is this the warp pad? No, a lazy animator is the one who like covers up the mouth so they don't have to do lip sync. That's hardly, on this cover, this is hardly a falcon. I mean, it's the size of a falcon, but it looks almost like a bald eagle. I seen a falcon in my backyard one time, it was eyeing my ducks. It wanted at those ducks, but it can't get in there. Because there's a fence over top. Yeah, it looks like a bald eagle, unless that's supposed to be like lighting. I don't know. Because a falcon, I'm looking at a picture of a peregrine falcon right now. And falcons have like this dark, like a hood, basically. Let's look at a falcon, a peregrine falcon. That's what a peregrine falcon looks like. Dark and yellow beak, like black at the tip, yellower at the front, and then this like dark hood and a white chest. Yeah. Meanwhile, this is a fucking bald eagle. What about the later book? Wait, hold on. There's a later book. This one, Destiny's End. Now that looks more falconish. That doesn't look quite like a... That might be more like a hawk. Hold on. What about a red-tailed hawk? I will say that is absolutely not the same bird as in the first cover. What about a red-tailed hawk? I think that eye shape definitely looks more like a red-tailed hawk to me. Let's see. There we go. That's a good image. That's a hawk. They can't get a falcon right. They don't know how to do a falcon. The bald eagle died. It's supposed to be the same familiar, unless it's like a summonable fucking magic creature that the main character of the fake book series can summon. And it like changes slightly, and it's never a falcon, never like a proper falcon. That's a fucking hawk, though. That's what that is. Look at the wing. Look at the wing colors. Well, I don't know. You can't see the backs of the wings. Or that's armor? I don't think that's the case. It's not a falcon though. That's a fucking hawk or an eagle in the first book. I don't know. That's a goddamn bald eagle. Let's look at a bald eagle. Everyone knows what a bald eagle looks like. I should rephrase that. Every American knows what a bald eagle looks like. I saw one of those flying recently, like a week ago. I was driving and it was like maybe 20 feet above my car. It was really cool. That's a fucking bald eagle. That's white head, yellow beak ass bald eagle. Come on. What happened to the music? Wait, where did the music go? Can you see the book number the whole time? Yeah. It's on this one, book 1. It's on Wait. Yeah, right here. Book 4. I don't know how he missed that. Also, I think that Steven is used to books like the No Homeboys, which probably don't have like an intended continuity order type thing. Did he just not notice the book number? I think he saw it and is like, well, it's like the No Homeboys. You can read it in whatever order you want. I just get confused. Like, when I read Dune, right? And I'm like, I want to read the next Dune book. And I didn't know what the next Dune book is because they don't fucking number them. It's Dune Messiah, and that's going to be the next movie. And I don't know what the next movie is going to be like because that book is a whole lot of standing around and talking in one location. Okay, so I won't spoil too much for the video to come out on Wednesday, and for the fact that it's on Patreon already. The episode Open Book is on Patreon already, and I do talk about how the book itself seems like a shitty ending. Not for the fact that, like, the familiar turns into a human and marries the main character. That's not the reason. It's because, as far as it sounds like, the book doesn't, like, end. It ends in, like, the middle, is what it sounds like. Unless this is, like, a case of, this is not the last book. Or it wasn't supposed to be the last book. I'm doing more analysis of the Spirit Morph saga than I am of the actual episode. Mysterious bottle. Is that olive oil? It sounds like a furry fanfic. Yeah. I think speaking of bald eagles, do in-universe Americans in the show celebrate the bald eagle or snakes as their animal? I think it would be snakes because the dollar in the show has snakes on it. Let me pull a dollar out of my wallet. I'm gonna look. There's an eagle on these, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. There's the seal, like the seal of the United States, and it has the bald eagle. But in that place, in place of that, in the show is a snake. Which snakes have been kind of a symbol of like American patriotism. Kind of. There's been like the "Don't tread on me" snake and all that. Why doesn't Beach City celebrate stuff like Halloween and Thanksgiving? Probably because they didn't want to do Halloween or okay, here's what I think went down between the writers and the executives. The executives were saying to the writers, if your series is going to be this long, you better have a Halloween episode and a Christmas episode and a freaking Thanksgiving episode. And it seems to me like the writers just didn't want to do a Thanksgiving episode and a Christmas episode and all that. So they just came up with this idea that, like, oh, these in this universe, these holidays don't exist, to like as a way to try to get out of doing those episodes. And then the executives were just like, yeah, just make it work anyway. Like, do a fucking Harvest Festival, or do like a horror episode for Halloween where they're in costumes. Winter forecast sucks. Yeah, that's It's like, here's your Christmas episode. It's the fucking one of the worst ones in season 1. No, they didn't make... I think they got in trouble for that, so they had to make Gem Harvest a 2-parter. Maybe. I don't know. That's all my fucking theories in my brain. Whoa. Three Gems and a Baby is certainly more in your face the moment they made that Birth of Jesus reference. Birth of Jesus? Oh, I guess the gems are like the 3 wise men, right? Is Gem Harvest a Thanksgiving episode? Is this the first you're hearing about this? Do you not have a Thanksgiving in where you live? But yes, Gem Harvest is absolutely a Thanksgiving episode. I know about Gem Harvest and I live in America. I'm just dumb. Aren't we all? Gem Harvest introduces Uncle Andy. He shows up one other time for a fucking, like, trip to Korea in his, like, little biplane, his World War II fucking fighter plane. Greg was rich. Why do they have to have Andy do that for them? Why didn't Greg just get a fucking airline ticket? And if they couldn't get Steven through airport security, why didn't they just get a fucking charter? Why didn't they just charter a plane instead of hiring his cousin? Steven has no passport, then how did he get into the country? He has no documents, then how did he get into the country? He still got into Korea. It doesn't matter how you get to the country, you still have to fucking go through customs. Sneaking in? I think it's hard to sneak in to a fucking militarized country like Korea. Unless Korea is like one country in this universe. I don't fucking know. They just broke in. They just like bolt cutter like cut through the fence of Korea. Korea would realistically be heavily guarded on both sides. Exactly. It's not that big of a country, so like any air traffic going over is being fucking monitored. I like in a country like the United States, like say if you wanted to fly an airplane between the United States and Canada, there's like a lot of space to do that because of how big and how unguarded that border is. It's the longest border between two countries in the world. Like, yeah, it's gonna be easy to sneak past that one, even in a fucking loud ass airplane. That's how borders work? It's just a fence? Well, no. Because, again, let's talk about the United States-Canada border. The border between the United States and Canada is 5,525 miles long. How do you build a fence that long? That's just not realistic. It's not feasible. You could, but who's paying for it? Nobody wants to pay for that. It not only is the largest border between two countries, it is also the longest, like, the oldest, longest standing border that hasn't been moved in the longest time, if that makes sense. April 11, 1908. It has not changed since then. This dripping thing has always freaked me out. It's like the pitch drop experiment. You know, the material pitch is a liquid, but it's so viscous that it flows. It's like a solid, like you can't tell. Hold on one sec, I gotta mute and try to blow my nose. Okay, I'm back. Steven used the TV disabling powers to disable the radars. I mean, yeah, sure. They just snuck in. They just fucking snuck in and landed in a field. And nobody was the wiser. Did the pink hair girl ever appear in any future episodes? I am gonna look that up because I don't know. Hold on, we're gonna look up pink hair girl Steven Universe on Google.com. Let's see, mystery girl. She has one appearance ever, and that is last one out of Beach City. I like this face. I don't know. I like this amethyst. It's funny. Pink hair girl will die and turn into a pink zombie and marry Lars at the end of Lars of the Stars because it'll be an unfamiliar familiar reference. Well, it wouldn't be unfamiliar familiar. It'd be Journey's End, which is the 4th book of the Spirit Morph Saga. It is called the Spirit Morph Saga. Fake fan of Spirit Morph. How dare you? I'm joking, of course. But how dare you? In The Big Show, the pink girl shows up in the background. What? Wait. I can't even remember what the episode is. That the found footage episode? That might be the most forgettable episode of Steven Universe. because I think I've only ever seen that one once ever. In fairness, I refer to Song of Ice and Fire as Game of Thrones. I can understand that because the TV show, like the whole series, is called Game of Thrones. Even though it covers more than just the first book, of course. It has 2 songs, so it's not that forgettable. I get that, I suppose. But I think the actual premise of the episode is forgettable. Does the mystery girl have a nose ring? Does she apply to nose ring theory? Do you any of you know about nose ring theory? This like meme that women with nose rings are like a Tumblr politically, like, what is it called? Identity politic obsessed. I don't know. A lip ring. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I can get behind that. I would not go for a woman like that myself, however. Better than a nose ring. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna be totally like transparent here. I think nose rings are kind of like ugly. Like it's like instant like turn off kind of thing. Like you could be the most attractive fucking person I've ever seen, but if you have a nose ring, it's like, I don't know. We can't mention that. We will be canceled. Oh no. Just try and cancel me. I'm untouchable. That's just personal opinion, though. There's no, like, fucking... There's no, like... No one's giving me that opinion. I just... I don't know. I don't like how nose rings look. They're just weird. Like septum rings, you know? Piercings in general are kind of weird. Even earrings are kind of strange. I agree. I guess I don't get it. I would never get a piercing myself. I just don't understand the appeal. I also just don't care about my appearance all that much. That's why it takes... I got a haircut a couple days ago. And I was thinking about this to myself. It took me 4 months to get a haircut. And it's because I just do not give a shit about my own appearance. There's a world record for having the most piercings? I don't want to see that. That's weird. Wait, someone got mad at me because I didn't watch the book continuity. So in this shot, the spines are facing to the left. And then this next shot... Whoops, I missed it. Wait, I missed it again. Yep, there it is. The spines are facing to the right. Overneath the underworld. And welcome to the Wizard Wilds. the snow made it to Ohio. Godspeed. Hopefully you won't get it as much. I think it's at least like 1.5 feet here already. The Wizard Wilds. I don't know. It's a fucking fantasy setting. Overneath is an oxymoron because neath comes from the root word nether, which means below. So it's literally like over below. It's an oxymoron. It doesn't mean anything. It can't be a word. Are there just a bunch of stray wizards that need to be adopted? I don't know. I would not adopt a wizard. I don't trust them. If I went to a fucking... If I was gonna, like, adopt a child and I went to an orphanage and the orphanage, like, staff were, like, telling me about all these kids' personalities and stuff, and we're like talking to all of them and all that, and like, this one can cast spells. It's like, no thank you, I don't need that. That's cool as fuck, but that is not something I want to have to deal with. I don't want to raise a teenager that can like fireball the house if in a hormonal rage. Grant me 3 wishes, child. He can't cast wish. That's a 9th level spell. You can't fucking cast wish as a fucking 7-year-old. You cast like a magic missile at that level and like a mage armor. Not even mage armor. I think you just have cantrips at 7 years old. Oops, I adopted a lich. That sounds like a fucking anime title. Oops, I adopted a lich. I'm saving that. Unless that actually is like a light novel or anime. I swear to God. Okay, it doesn't exist. Google, like, in quotes, it doesn't come up with anything on Google. Nothing is stopping a 7-year-old from becoming level 20? Me. I'm stopping them. I ain't letting a fucking 7-year-old wizard become level 20. That's crazy. How is a 7-year-old reading at a 20th level wizard level? You know? You can't read spell books that advanced. That's like college level reading. I don't think most college students can't read like level 3 spells. It takes years to become level 1. Yeah, I think D&D lore, you have to be, as like a human, right? You have to be 16 to be level 1 to start adventuring. I think that's the case. I like talking about magic shit as if it's real. I don't know. That's like one of my fucking like pastimes. Is like talking about like dragons and goblins and shit and like wizards as if they're real. Sweet Pea. Oh yeah, Adventure Time, where he's the lich, but he's also Sweet Pea. But he's got a skeleton inside him, and that skeleton is the Lich. He can cast Shield and Sanctuary, right? Sanctuary? Does Sanctuary exist in 5th edition? Yes, you ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must make a wisdom saving throw. Actually, it would be in the Steven universe lore, it would be a strength saving throw because I think we've only seen brute force take down the bubble. Oh yeah, that's also a cleric spell. Shit. I guess Steven would more be a cleric than a fucking wizard. Because he's got healing, he's got revivify. The multimeter when I measure the frequency of my wall socket. It's a sine wave. The funky flow. Revivify? Yeah, Revivify is a spell in D&D. Revivify, it's a real word.
Revivify.
That was awful. Holy shit. That was like a jump scare sound. To give new life or vigor to. I've never heard it before. You have not played D&D then. I saw someone say he's a warlock who thinks he's a sorcerer. He thinks he gets his powers from his mom, but he actually gets his powers... What? Oh, he thinks he gets his powers from his mom, but he actually gets his powers from his mom. I get it. Also, I'll probably need to stop pretty soon because my throat and sinuses are starting to demolish my head. He's not a warlock, he's a cleric. He has fucking healing spells. He still gets his powers from basically a goddess, you know? He doesn't have to, like, pray to his fucking mom to, like, get those powers, but... I wouldn't say he's a warlock. I think a warlock is not quite. I don't know. Plant abilities? There's like a nature domain, right? For cleric? Nature domain, yes. Animal friendship, bark skin, plant growth. Yeah, he's a nature domain cleric. We have this is settled. I smacked. I don't have a gavel. If I had a gavel on my desk, I would hit it. Steven is a nature domain cleric. Multi-class? Partly. He has too many powers to make a class? I disagree. I think you could make if you were going to make a character in D&D, you could make a character with all of Steven's powers and they could straight up just be a cleric. But he's also charisma, like he's charisma focused. Monk? No. No, that's silly. Garnet would have... Oh, yeah, Garnet would be Monk. I played in a campaign with, someone was a monk, and they had these, I think they were just, like gloves for their fists, or gauntlets, or whatever. And one was called Thoughts, and one was called Prayers. So... they would throw like a 1-2 punch and be like, yeah, thoughts and prayers. Pearl has the most powers outside of Rose and Steven. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? She has like this sand telekinesis that shows up only ever in one episode. She has holograms. She's got, like, a huge storage unit inside her fucking forehead. I gotta see this frame again. Cloud telekinesis. The most, but mostly useless or utilitarian. Well... In terms of lore, that's what pearls are for, is being utility. They're like a fucking Swiss Army knife. A Google Gemini on your phone that can also, like, store shit. Those hollow pearls would be OP if she used them right. She used, like, 6 of them in, Beach Party, and then never again. Or, no, she used them for training. But when the fucking diamonds show up, or whatever, like, if a corrupted gem shows up, why isn't she pulling out the fucking hollow pearls to fight them? Pearl Artificer, Mage Paladin. I think she would just be a paladin. Wait, Artificer. Yeah, I think if you could create the little constructs, the pearl constructs, she would be an Artificer too as well, wouldn't she? I'm playing a Pathfinder campaign. I'm actually game mastering a Pathfinder campaign, and one of the this is the same friend that has made the funny Git commit messages that I talked about earlier. He's playing a kobold wizard named Kex, and he's a wizard who's like going to be a necromancer. Or like he's a aspiring necromancer. That's the right term. And he does a lot of summoning. He summons these skeletal creatures to fight for him. And the flavor behind that is he collects bones, and then the bones, like when he needs to summon a skeleton, he'll just like take his bag and turn them upside down. Like turn the bag of bones upside down, and it'll like form into a skeleton. Just dump the bones out. It's funny. This just became a D&D stream. Yeah, a little bit. I'd like... oh, jeez. If I ever did another campaign, or if I was in another campaign, I'd like to stream a campaign at one point. I wouldn't want to DM and stream it at the same time, though, because I think that would be too much work. Like, I'm already running one campaign is difficult enough. I would want to be a player, but also like arrange all the live streaming or podcast microphone shit. Amethyst is a druid? Maybe. I think Amethyst is just a fucking sorceress with a polymorph. The way polymorph works in D&D. Okay, I played a sorceress in D&D at one point. And the way polymorph works, at least in 3.5 edition, is that you can polymorph into any animal or magical beast that you have seen. And the DM made the mistake of showing my character a Hydra at one point. So when I got the polymorph spell, I kept turning into a Hydra, which gets as many attacks as it has heads. So I would have like a fucking 10-headed Hydra that just got attacks constantly. 10 attacks in one turn. It's crazy. And then eventually the DM was like, "Hey, you gotta like not use polymorph for combat," which I thought was a little silly because I was playing how the game was written. I don't know. Rules is fun though. Rules is funny. Okay, chat room. I need to take a break. I need to give my fucking sinuses a break because holy shit, they are burning. I need some like spicy food. I'm gonna drink a bottle of hot sauce, and that'll clear out my sinuses. But for now, I think I need to stop because my voice is gonna give in any moment. If you listen to, maybe you've seen it on Patreon if you're a patron. If you listen to my voice in the open book video that comes out on YouTube on Wednesday, you'll hear my voice is not all that. It's a little bit stuffy sounding. I don't have any spicy noodles. I can make spicy noodles, but I don't have any like, pre-packaged kind of shit. Have a good day or suffer the consequences. I will have a good day, thank you. But for now, I'm going to sleep. Good night, chat.